Welcome back to Themed Journals. My name is April, and welcome to the home of the Themed Journal journey. If you're new, I'm thrilled to have you here. If you've been here for a while, I'm so glad you're still here. Okay, so we're making a real master board tonight. If I can find my glue. As you can see, I got all my little handy dandy scraps out. So this is how you make a real master board. This is not a faux master board. It's a real master board. You just take real pretty scraps and you turn them into something like a collage. Well, you turn it into a collage, and then as you make the collage, you'll see how it turns out. So anyway. I've done 5 of these so far behind the scenes, and I need 7 more tags for my giveaway journal, or whatever. Yeah, tags, I suppose you could call them, decorative tags. So all you do is get your pretty scraps out, and you put I use good glue, my permanent glue, and I just put them willy-nilly on my page. I don't try to think about it too much, otherwise I'll just agonize over every single placement of every single piece of paper, and yeah, that gets too agonizing after a while. So yeah. So I have all different shapes and sizes. Once I get the good paper onto this paper, what I'll do is I will start using my glue mat. Why don't we just start that now? This is not really my glue mat. Hang on. This is my painting mat and my embossing or inking mat. This isn't it either. Hang on. Of course I don't know where my glue mat is. That would just make too much sense that April actually knows where her glue mat is. Okay, here it is. Yeah. Okay, so you just put I use the backing of Magic Cover Clear Transparency stuff, and it all has a nice looking backing, and that's what I use for my glue mat. Because why throw this away when it's a free use of a resource that doesn't have to go in the trash right away, and you can glue on top of your glue mat, on top of your glue mat, on top of your glue mat, and you can do it for as long as you can stand it. I'll have to show you some of my glue mats. Well, I won't be able to do that right now because see, sometimes I'll glue on it, sometimes I'll ink on it, sometimes I'll paste on it or paint on it. Okay, after you get the big pieces on, then you look at your small pieces like this. And you just put it on. Wherever the muse takes you. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, when I show you some of the pieces that I've done, you know, made into from my master board, oh, it's beautiful. Like, look at these cute little triangles. This is part of my last batch I did. And then if it comes off, you can just stick it back on with glue. All right. And just keep on doing it until you run out of room. And all the white from the board is covered. Yep. You have different sizes, different shapes, different pretty papers that you're using from. Yep. Look at that. And then you just put on some more. All right. Look at me go. I put it on the wrong side. All right. So we'll put the glue on the correct side. Try to get it up off the glue mat now. And we're just going to have to let it dry. I mean, saving your scraps like this will allow you to know what part of the process that you got the scraps from. It's sort of like a memory board of what you did during your theme journal journey. Like this is a scrap of my handmade faux alcohol inks that I made. Loved how that turned out. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. I'm gonna have to make some more. Of course, steampunk. Yep, because I'm so obsessed. I still want to do a journal that's steampunk. And yeah. Okay, so see, this is the side I do not want to glue on. I want to glue on the white side. And it looks like I'm almost out of ink or glue in this glue bottle. I have to get up and get some more shortly. So I hope all's well in your craft room. And having fun. Let me know in the comments below if you're doing this project or a theme, you know, you're doing an altered ephemera book. Let me know if you're doing it and what your theme is, because you don't have to do steampunk. Yeah, themepunk. You don't have to do steampunk if that's not your jam. It's totally understandable. Not everybody's into steampunk. So let me know in the comments what your theme is and how you're coming along with the project. That's too big. Let's do this one. I just love this gold paper that I made from scrumbling. I think it's what it's called. I don't know. When I was in art classes, I must have misheard the teacher because I could have sworn she called it stumbling. Anyway, internet artists say it's scrumbling or something like that. Anyway, it's just the act of putting a thin layer of acrylic paint over a piece of paper, and it's beautiful. Now I love these thumbprint extras. This is when we punch a hole, you know, a half a hole so that people know it's a pocket. Yeah. So you can cover up spots like that and you have some, you know, funky steampunk stuff up. Yeah. I mean, it goes really fast if you have a lot of big pieces in it. I mean, not all the stuff that you put in. Now remember to put some on a diagonal. That makes an interesting piece if you put it, you know, on a diagonal. I mean, I had one piece that it looks like a wood paneling in the area where I put it, a bunch of these small things together. That was a lot of fun. Oh, here's one of my pieces from my paper. So see why I save all the excess? Because you could always use them. I mean, it's no big deal. There we go. Put the pretty on top. There we go. And then we need another one of these, because see, I've got a white piece of paper here. I don't know if you can see that, but I can. trying to stay in frame. Oh, I drive myself crazy when I get out of frame. And I know I drive you crazy, so I apologize for driving you crazy. I am the world YouTube's worst videographer. I claim that title, and I don't think anybody else can really truly claim that title. That's mine. Okay. Now, if like here, I have it that pointy part hanging over, you just cut it like so. And then you can put it back on the masterboard. You could just throw it in the trash. There are some things that need to go in the trash. That was one of them. Yup. And that's why I made these envelopes, so I could have scrap envelopes to put all my scraps while I'm working, so they're not always on my desk. So yeah, the only time I want scraps on my desk is when I'm actually doing a masterboard. Now, some people only do one side of a masterboard. I do both sides because I usually use them for tags, or I use them for something that needs both sides of the page decorated. I rarely use my masterboard for pockets or stuff like that, although that would be a good idea. But anyway. I got a funny email. Someone wrote me about Themed Journals and says, you have such an interactive way about you, and do you need scriptwriter? I'm like, I'm an English major and I can write my own. Thank you very much. Not that I go off of a script. It's all off the cuff. If you've been here a while, you know I jibber jabber about a lot of things. All right. There. Now I'm getting gluey fingers. Ugh. Always with the gluey fingers. Drive me cuckoo. So this is what I do with my scraps. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to do one more scrap right there because this just doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see if this will do. That'll do. Oh, wrong spot. Haha. All right. Ugh. All right, let's see what we got here. I need a square shape. That's what I need. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll do these thin little pieces and go diagonal. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, let me get the last of this thing up so that I can use it up and I can get another one. Yeah. And this is why I have gluey fingers, because I'm doing this type of project. So, all right. Okay, so remember these little, let's use this one. It's got a little bit of a clock on it, and we're going to put it right there. Oh, pretty. Oh, look at that. There. It's a little off center. More than I wished it to be, but that's okay. Now we flip it over and we start all over. You start with the big pieces And until, oh, let me go get some more glue. I'll just have to stand up really quick and grab, oops, and everything in my cupboard comes flying down at me because I save scraps up in my cupboard, you know, for other projects. All right, let's get 2 out, April. I'm halfway through my Scotch Creek glue stick, permanent glue stick box. I'm gonna have to buy some more since I buy it from Costco. I've got to put in the order now because they don't carry these at Costco in the store. Although I can't remember which one I was at. Maybe I saw them at the business center. I don't know. I'll just order online and from Costco and get it shipped to my door. I don't have to go through all the hubbub at the actual store. And I'm good on that. Okay, see what I told you about this paper? It's the only paper that I've bought so far that you can pull up and to make it look super grungy. So if you're in for grunge, then, you know, get some glossy paper from Temu and you'll have a good time making grunge. Yeah. All right, see how you can tell if you're on point or not with that? You have to turn it over and double check. All right, let's see what else we've got here. And we can go this way with this one. And you can overlap them and do, you know, different things like this. I'm going to go up here and go that way with this one. And then I can fill in the other, the smaller spots with smaller scraps. See, there's a line here now that we can put a smaller scrap on. Okay, well, I'll use this one. Got the glue sheet. Now, that I only have 7 more tag-like things to make. I don't know what you would call them. And then I will be doing a final walkthrough of this book, the ephemera book that I'm giving away as my 2000th subscriber contest. Oh, I have to put I'm going to put a chain on it for a closure. So we have to do the closure. We'll do that together on the day that we, either the last day that we look at this or the second to the last video that we do for this, because of course we want to do a final walkthrough of it. All right, let's go this way. Yeah, let's do that. Or we can go up here and do this. No, I like it down here better. Okay. Sometimes you want to plan out where you're putting stuff, but other times you just grab stuff, put it down. Grab stuff, put it down. And people will do it with using up their book pages. I've seen people doing it with all different types of, different types of paper, and, you know, it's all good. Okay. Some scraps you just gotta throw away, bro. Let it go. All right. Oops. Let's do it this way. Okay, we can put it that way. Let's see what else we have. Oh, look at this pretty one. And you can't really tell what the effect is going to be until you start cutting it up. I mean, the pre-glued pieces I'm putting in and sewn pieces, beautiful. Oh, you know what? I can show you some of the masterboard pieces that I have. Let's see. I don't know what fell down on the floor. Plenty of paper down there. Okay, so see the stripes? I love it. And then you have this side, and then like you have that, different effects. And then you have some papers going this way. You know, it all looks different depending on which piece you're looking at. Look at how pretty this one is. And this is my favorite. I'm going to hoard this one. I'm not going to use it. And this one's my favorite. These two are my favorite pieces, and I'm going to hoard them. Look at how cool that looks. So these two are going into my stash of ephemera. Yeah, I'm not giving those up. Sorry. And then the last piece we can put here is one of these thumb things. There. And then see, we got a little white here, so we're going to use another thumb thing down there. I don't know what you would call the punch outs. I guess punch outs. I don't know. Aha, here's another one. Yeah. And I threw something on the floor. Okay. Aha, there we go. Sometimes it feels like a puzzle when you're working on it. You're like, oh, which way should I put this? Should it go this way or that way? Now let's use some of these. Oh, no, no, no. I see something down here. Aha. Now we need a smaller piece. Let's see. Yep, that'll do. And then you'll see your scraps in a new light, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I saved those scraps, and it's so pretty. Yeah. Remember, don't be afraid to put things on a diagonal either. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get some longer scraps here. Yeah, gluey finger mark. Oh boy, I amuse myself sometimes. Not all the time do gluey finger marks amuse me. I usually have to figure out how to hide the gluey finger mark. Yeah, true story. Ugh. Okay, You want to do the more interesting side. I think it adds interest. All right. Ah, here's another one of these. Let's use that up. So you see how you just laid on top of all the other stuff? That's okay. No big. All right, there we go. That's how you make masterboard, folks. And what's the difference between Frankenstein board and masterboard? Is the Frankenstein board is just, you sew on it and it becomes patchwork. I have a couple of episodes called Frankenfabric, and it's just patchwork of stuff. We're going to be doing more Frankenfabric soon. I have a Alice in Wonderland project in my head. Yep. Okay, so what I've learned is you want to go this way because you can get 4 out of each strip if you run it this way, which is the 8.5 this way and the 11 this way. So you can see what I mean. Normally I would wait for it all to dry, but this video is not going to wait for me to be done with it. This is the pocket. All right, I can't seem to get this, so let's just go straight down, and we should have the other shape for, see? Now there we go. So the question is do we want to save the top, or do we want to save the bottom? I think we're going to save the bottom. And see, this is how you get more scraps. All right, we'll put that over in the scrap pile. So we have 2 tags. And so this is what it looks like prior to decorating it and putting ink on it. I have to ink the edges, and then I have to sew around it and all that jazz. All right. Aha, there we go. Sort of have to get the shape going right. So you can get 3 maximum out of this. And we got more scraps. So there you have it. That's how, and then what I do is I go through and my handy dandy notepad or ink pad out. Oh, no, not that one. And my dauber. And you say, well, I can't really see that it's ink. Trust me. You know, the ink, where you miss that fine of a white line, instead of just going ahead and cutting that thin line off, because who can be bothered with that? You just ink it. And then when you sew over it, you can't even see that white line when you sew it. So, and then sometimes you'll miss a place like this, and the sewing of the around it will hide that. And then you don't, when you sew it, then you don't really see the imperfections of, see, here's a line of white. When I get done sewing it, you won't even notice that that was there. And then, you know, make sure you get that edge like so, because you don't want the white showing through the edges of the fabric. Now, what I've had to do on every single tag after I sew it is go through, and on the back side where you have the sewing machine punching through, I have to go and hide the punch throughs of the needle, because it actually punches through here and there's a little white spot. So when I go over it, I use this brush, and you don't see it. So I don't know if you can see it, but see, this side is the punch through side. And I went through with my paddle brush and went all the way around that. See, that's my paper. It's so pretty. I think I might hoard this one too. Yeah. Okay. So I do the daubing. I do everything with the dauber. Oh, I did get 4 out of there. I can't count. Well, those of you who know me and have been on this channel a long time, you know I can't count. It's not on purpose. I do know how to count to 10, but doing math in my head sometimes, yeah. And I know 1 plus 3 is 4, but I sort of lost track of where I was. Who wants to do math when they're crafting? Not me. That's why I do almost measuring most of the time. What do I mean by almost measuring? Well, when I cut these out, instead of drawing each single one, I just cut around it. That's almost drawing. Or almost measuring, in my opinion. And then if you don't like your fingerprints on there because you yanked up the paper with your gluey fingers, then you can just go along like that and do that like so. And inking around the edges makes it a cohesive piece of artwork too. Now what I do with my decorating is I decorate to hide some lines. Some lines are okay to see, other ones you're like, oh, I don't want that line to see. I don't want to see that line. And I'm sure the people getting it won't want to see it either. So if you don't like the line, then maybe the person getting it won't like it either. And just keep that, you know, sort of in the back of your head with how you decorate. I mean, you can make sticker collages, or like me, be super lazy and just put 1 sticker on each thing. Sometimes I'll do a collage, like someone standing on a compass or something like that. After all, it is steampunk, or standing on a watch, or having a watch, you know, come out of a chest or something, you know. So. So my next goal will be to make another board like this, and then I'll sew around all of them. I need 4 more because I only need, I don't know, I have to recount. I think I need 7. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So I need 1 more master board. And I'll do that offline, and when I come back next, we will go through a walkthrough of the journal. All right, thank you so much for joining me on today's Theme Journal journey. I'll talk to you later. Remember to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.